I was talking to a gentleman the other day and he was excited. He told me he found out exactly which hour of the day is the cheapest for electricity, what he would run at those specific hours to save 2 cents a kilowatt. He was proud of that. Now, I'm not for a second going to say I'm going to make fun of this man, because I used to be the man. He's not lazy. He's not stupid. He's disciplined. He's paying attention. He's doing the math. He's doing the math for the wrong problem, because you can't save your way to wealth. You can't discount your way into freedom, and you can't schedule your way out of poverty. While he was optimizing pennies, he was ignoring the dollars. While he was managing his bill, somebody else was building an asset. And this is the difference between the man who is comfortable and the man who is free. Today, I'm going to show you the one shift, the one way of thinking. Just stop focusing on the wrong thing and start focusing on assets. And I'm going to give you the framework so you can simply start tonight, start today. It's called G.R.O.W. And by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where you stand on the ladder and exactly what you do and think about it, and exactly what excuses you're going to have to let go. I don't know if you've ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but he talks about that his poor dad and his rich dad his poor parents and his rich parents were doing the exact same thing. His poor parents were collecting the catalogs, they were cutting out the coupons, they were looking for the best deals for meat, for pork butt, right? They were going all over the shops to go to find the cheapest one, and they buy a bunch of it and stick it in the deep freeze. And his rich dad would be doing the exact same thing, but not for pork butt, not for meat, not for discounts on groceries. He was doing the exact same thing, the exact same activity, but he was focused on real estate, property. And when the author, Robert Kiyosaki, is describing this, he's describing his parents, every Saturday shopping and storing up and trying to save all the pennies. And his rich dad explained, I'm doing the exact same thing, but my focus is on assets. It's not saving on pennies. He was trying to find real estate for a deal. He was trying to find real estate on discount so that he could purchase it and start making money. Completely different mindset, completely different shift. One was focusing on saving the cents, and the other was focusing on creating wealth. And he also talks about 3 tiers, 3 concepts: the poor, the rich, and the middle class mindset. The poor mindset is at the bottom. The poor mindset, right? And they think the primary purpose of money is to pay their bills, right? And it's not because they're bad people, not because they're lazy, because they're on survival. They think that every dollar has to go to a bill. How do I cover this expense? That's it. That's the whole thought process. Cover the expense. Cover what bills I have to pay. You get paid on Friday and it all goes out by Monday, all gone. You can't build wealth if you focus on income to primary cover your bills. There's no leftover. There's no opportunity for growth. There's no opportunity for anything. A person on this level isn't thinking about next year. A person on this level is just thinking about this week. I want to be clear about something. This is not a character flaw. This is a survival technique. The problem is not they don't work hard. They're some of the hardest working people that I know, that I've ever met in my life. The problem is the question they're asking. You can't answer your way to freedom. Sorry, you can't save your way to freedom. You're asking a poverty question. Where's this dollars going to the bill? Which bill is this dollar going to? The second level is the middle class. The middle class is focused on credit, good score, good history, good standing, and listening. That is the process. They're good. They're moved on for the first run, but nobody tells them that they think the money is for credit, so they can impress people that they don't know, right? They buy the nice car, they buy the nice clothes, buy the nice house, got to upgrade to the next iPhone because they focus on good credit to show off. Good credit will never once, not once, put money in your pocket while you sleep. This is foolish. They think they're winning. They feel like they're winning because they got a new car in their driveway, but often they just got a debt to go with it. They need to get the vacation shot on Instagram, right, to make sure that everyone knows how good they're doing. But if you look closely, look at their monthly income statement, they're trapped. They go from loss to loss. That's not wealth, that's just a decorated treadmill. You can't be on this rung and still be, and if you miss one paycheck, you're out of it. The rich mindset is up the top. Right? And they think the primary purpose of money is to make more money. That's what they think the primary purpose is. The rich mindset is focused not on bills, not on credit card, but focused on getting more money, focused on getting assets. Dan Preece says in his book, income follows assets. And often the question changes completely. It's no longer how do I afford this? Sorry, that's the question. It's not can I afford this? It changes to how do I afford this? In this run, they focus on building and developing assets. Often, we are the only asset. We go to work and earn a job and we have an income. That's our asset. You need to have more. The question they ask every single day for the rest of their lives, will this make me money while I sleep? I don't care what credit score is right now. I don't care what my bank account reads. The question is bigger than the current situation. It's more powerful. Will this make me money tomorrow? Now here's the part most people skip past too fast, and it's an important part of this whole video. Robert Kiyosaki gives us the sharpest definition of wealth I've ever heard. He said, an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. And a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Read that again. An asset puts something into my pocket, and a liability takes something out of my pocket. And he defines a house as a liability because he says that a house takes money out of your pocket, even if you own it, right? Even if you don't have a mortgage, you've still got rates, you've still got taxes, you've still got water, insurance, etc., etc. You've got all these utilities. It's costing you money. Now, an accountant will say your house is your biggest asset, but it doesn't tell you whose asset it is. It's the banks, right? Because they're the one that's getting the money in their pocket. Does it feed you or does it feed off you? Your car loan, is it feeding you or feeding off you? It's a liability. It's taking money out of your pocket. Your credit card, is it costing you money or putting money in your pocket? Most of us would say it's taking money out of our pocket. Your house, is it producing income? If it's not an asset. Now, I'm not saying don't get a house, just understand what it is, which class it falls into. Let's go deeper, because I want you to actually change how you see your life tonight, not just how you see the screen right now. Your clothes are on your back, you bought to look successful, right? Oh, I'm looking the part. But they're a liability. They're taking money out of your pocket. Your gym membership, it's taking money, by these descriptions, it's taking money out of your pocket. It's not putting in. It might be an asset on a different definition because you need it to stay healthy. That's a different thing. Your streaming subscription, are they putting money in your pocket or taking money out of your pocket? The vacation that you're looking at. Now flip it. A rental property with a tenant that's covering all the bills is an asset because it's putting money in your pocket. A small business that pays you an income. A stock that pays you a dividend. A skill you've built that you can repeatedly do. It's called a job often, and it puts money in your pocket. That's an asset. Now I need you to go through this tonight and ask, every single thing you own the same question. Is it feeding me or am I feeding it? Because Dan Precy says that income follows assets. Not effort, not hours, not hustle. Income. You don't get paid more for working harder at a job. You get paid more for owning more of what produces. That's not a hack. That's not a shortcut. That is the mechanism of wealth. Write that phrase down and have a look at it tomorrow. Income follows assets, not the other way around. You don't chase an income directly, you build the thing that produces it. Why does this feel so hard? Now, some of you are watching this and already you're arcing up in your head, you're arguing with me. You're saying, Simon, that sounds too hard. But I don't have extra money for assets. I barely can cover the bills I have right now. I hear you. And I'm not going to stand here and pretend that's not real. But I want to challenge you with something. The gap between what you want, between the poor and the middle class, the start and the end, it's not money, it's attention. The man with the electricity bill had time to research the exact hours, the change. He had time to build a spreadsheet in his head to figure out what time to put the washing machine on. That is not pointing his capacity. It's pointing his capacity in the wrong target, the wrong area. He had all that time to research. He had all that time to be disciplined. You can do that to save 2 cents an hour. The question is never what it takes. The question is whether you're willing to put in the work and focus on something different. And yes, in the beginning, the amount you can gather is small. It might be uncomfortably small. It might feel like it's insignificant. But start anyway, because a small asset that you own and understand will teach you more about the big opportunities. I couldn't get my head around this concept. I finished the book and I was like, how can you? I bought a real estate investment property and I was like, okay, I can understand how I buy an asset, but how do I build an asset? How do I create an asset? And it stumped me for years. And I couldn't figure it out. I was like, well, I'm an asset. I'm an asset because I can get a job, right? And then I become an asset to myself but I can't multiply it. I can't work 1,000 hours a week. Can only work so many hours a week. I can only have so many jobs. Even if I have 2 or 3, I don't even know if I could have 4 jobs, maybe. But how do I create an asset? Not buy one. A buying, I understand, would create a large capital outlay. You have to save up for a deposit for a home, for example. You have to save up thousands of dollars to start buying stocks. How do I create an asset? And you can create a business. You can create. I've written a book. Broken Neck, Unbroken Wealth.com is my ebook. I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm just saying that is an asset because income can follow it. You go there, you purchase it, people read it, it changes their life, and income can follow it. This YouTube channel, I created it. This has the potential to go to hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, potentially millions of people across the world, and income can follow it. Right? You can create things. Instead of being a consumer, you can be a creator. God put you gifts and talents on your life to change other people's life, to serve others. He said, those who serve everyone will be the greatest among you. Think about it. Tesla are serving hundreds and thousands of people. That's why they're great. Apple are serving hundreds and thousands of people with their products, their services, and they're succeeding. If you can figure out a way to serve the masses will elevate you. Sorry, I got off point. So now you know the ladder. Poor is bills, middle class is credit, rich is assets. But knowing this and doing it is 2 different things. So I mentioned this earlier, so I want to build you a bridge, 4 steps, and it's called G.R.O.W. G. I'm just going to move over here. G. Is for gather. Before you acquire anything, you gather. You gather capital, you gather knowledge, you gather people who already have done what you're trying to do. This is the step that everyone wants to skip because it's not glamorous. There's no photos for gathering. Nobody posts of their season of gathering, whether they're just learning, they're saving for a deposit, they're asking questions. But every asset you will ever own can't go past this step, gathering. Gathering capital doesn't mean waiting until you have a fortune. It means set aside something on purpose every single time money comes in. Even if it's small, even if it seems insignificant, because small consistency beats large spontaneity. The habit that you create is more important than the amount. Gathering knowledge means you stop learning about wealth from people who don't have any. Your neighbor, maybe your parents, maybe your best friend. It means you find a book, you find a mentor, you find a community, you find a channel, this YouTube channel maybe, and you go deep. Go deep in learning. Gathering means you start spending time around individuals who already think like assets, look for assets, not just use them, to absorb how they see the world. You'll start asking better questions. You start asking to be in the room. A common mistake here is you're trying to skip straight from gathering to owning. People get excited, they get impatient, and they buy the first thing that jumps right in front of them. But don't. Gather first. Discipline is the season, and it protects you for the next one. Research. Once you gather, you research which asset class actually fits you, your lifestyle, your income, your risks, your risk tolerance, your season, right? Real estate, business equity, dividends, paying stocks. It doesn't matter which door you go through. There's many vehicles, right? On the road, there's hundreds of different vehicles. There's trucks, there's cars, there's trains, there's bicycles, there's shoes. And then you go into an asset like cars, and there's all these different brands, and there's different sizes, and all these different things. It's the same with investments. There's all these different investment vehicles. That's why it's called investment vehicles. They all get you different places, different speeds, different looks, different feels, and they suit different peoples. It's exactly the same. What matters is you walk through it with your eyes open, not your eyes open to whoever talks the loudest at the barbecue. Some neighbor says, buy this stock because it's going to go up tomorrow. You do your research. You understand numbers before you understand the excitement. What's the actual return? What's the actual risk? What's the actual time commitment? What happens in a bad year? What not just in a good year? Research means you talk to people who currently own assets, own that asset class, not just people who are selling it. The person selling the opportunity and the person living with the opportunity have very different opinions, very different stories. A common mistake here is research never ends. Some of you are going to hide because research is forever, because some research feels safe and actions feel risky. If you've been researching the same asset class for over a year, still haven't made a single decision, a single move, maybe stop researching and start. Right? Give yourself a real deadline. Research is hard, and you can over-research too. O is for own. This is the moment. This is the step the poor mindset never reaches because they still feel like they're solving for bills. This is the step the middle class never reaches because it's still solving for credit. Own means you actually acquire it. You buy the property, you buy the equity, you buy the thing. You stop renting your effort to somebody else's asset and you start owning your own. This feels uncomfortable. Good. It's the uncomfortable is what feels like right because your life changes. If it felt easy, everyone would be doing it, right? And on the rich mindset, there's not a lot of people up there. Owning your first asset will probably not be the biggest thing you ever own. Well, it might be, but that's okay. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be the thing that proves that you're actually doing this. Often we think that we have to figure it out all of the way before we jump in and figure it out on the way. The confidence you gain from owning this first small asset is worth more than the asset itself. a common mistake here is for the perfect asset, there is no perfect asset. There is only the right next thing in front of you. Purchase with the information you have, the research you gathered. Right. W. W is for wisdom. This is the step that turns one asset into a portfolio. You take the income from the asset that produces, and instead of spending it to look rich, you widen it. You reinvest into the next asset. This is exactly what Dan Priestley meant. Income follows assets. And once you widen it, your income starts to flow. Widening is where the mindset shifts from this section. This section is where it gets real tested. When the first check comes in from your asset, you're going to feel the pull to spend it, to go on some great vacation. It's a middle class move. Reset, start again, widen, take that income and go buy the next asset or grow the one you already have. Put the money back into the machine. This is the step that separates people with one asset from them that have multiple, a portfolio. Common mistake here is treating the first asset like the finish line. It's not the finish line. It's the first rep. It's the starting point, the first step in the journey. Nobody builds strength from one rep. You do it again. You keep going over and over. Repetition becomes different. So here we go. Gather, research, own, and wisdom. Grow. You got it? That's the whole framework, the whole ladder. So let's put this all in one place, because I want you to leave this video with a map, not just a moment. Rung Bill is a poor mindset focusing on bills. Rung 2 is the middle class mindset focusing on credit. Rung 3 is the rich mindset focusing on assets. Assets put money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Income follows assets every single time. And the bridge is grow. Gather, research, own, and wisdom. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you on the next video. Do all that YouTube yourself, like, share, and I can't wait to see you on the next video.